Welcome to the Client Code Podcast, the podcast where we decode what really drives women in business, their lives, their lessons, and the choices that shaped their success. I'm your host, Carol Kabale, and each week I sit down with incredible women to explore their mindset, mission, and the magic behind their work. Because in business and in life, what you don't change, you choose. Guys, today, you already know who's here. I don't even need to tell you. So Marnie, welcome to, I should say, guys, it's like I'm already in love with her. Welcome to the Client Code Podcast. Woo!
Amazing. I've been waiting for this. This has been on my calendar for about a month and it's super exciting.
Well, I am so glad that you've graced us with your presence. Guys, you don't even know. Like before we got here, we had so many gremlins and so many things. And that's an Easter egg for what's to come because today's conversation is going to be something else. I know it. But as you know, we start every conversation with the same question. Marnie, what is your unique client code?
My unique client code comes down to my ability to spark inspiration in people. I feel I'm a natural motivator and I love creating a space of learning for people to feel like they've got opportunities. There's an abundance of opportunities out there for them. And my moat to do that is AI, teaching everybody about generative AI, especially for business. So yeah, that's my client code: inspiring, motivating, and creating an abundance mindset.
Oh, well, I don't know. Sign me up. Like, take my money now. Don't tell my husband though. But I love it. I think AI is so trendy, but I also think there's so much good use for it. So I'm really excited for all of us to dive in today and really figure it out. I know that you're on a mission to demystify AI when it comes for business leaders. Can I ask, what was your turning point with AI? Like, what made you click and be like, this is what I'm doing?
Yeah, it was after I'd had a lot of success in my, what I call my brick and mortar businesses. So I had two businesses. One is an early years physical education business, of which I used AI to change my business model and streamline a lot of our processes. And I had an online health and fitness business, and I was able to exit that and sell my digital assets. And I think it was at that point where I was like, I have done all of this as a entrepreneur of, I think I was being in business about 10 years at that point, at times struggling, outsourcing a lot, digging into profit margins and just wearing all the hats all the time. And thanks to using generative AI within those two businesses, I felt superhuman. I honestly felt like finally a successful businesswoman who could keep up with some of the other business owners, who had big teams. And I felt like I was making a really big impact within my businesses and the people that were on my AI journey with me, that I was like, I'm ready to share this. I'm ready to share this in workshops. I'm ready to help small businesses go through this AI transformation. And most importantly, I feel like I can take my natural teaching style, because I used to be a secondary physical education and science teacher. I can take my natural teaching style and try to make an impact in this digital revolution that we're in. I guess it started off as demystifying AI because nobody knew what it was. So like this time last year, it was demystifying it. But I have to say, I've probably taken a slightly different route in the last few months. And it's more about trying to help people amplify their intelligence with AI and to help us as a generation not be lazy users of AI. Because I have an 8 and a 4-year-old, and they will be having AI tutors later on in their education journey. And when I say later on, I'm talking probably 2030, so not that long away. And at the moment, I believe most of us are lazy users of AI, not intentionally, we just don't know how to use it correctly or in a more strategic way. And what happens is we ask generative AI to create something for us, and then we just put it out there to the world without adding our human domain expertise, which is our knowledge, our experience, and our perspective. And because we don't add that, it just means that the AI is learning off the AI content, which is known as synthetic data. So AI is creating the synthetic data. The real data is what comes from humans. And at the moment, AI was trained at the beginning on real data because it was learnt from us humans. But now we're putting out synthetic data, what AI is creating, and we're not adding any human domain expertise. So it's lazy AI use because it's just AI after AI after AI. And I don't know about you, but I do not want my 4 and 8-year-old to have a dumbed down or an AI version of an AI. I want them to have a human enhanced AI version, to amplify their intelligence. So I think we're in a perfect position as leaders to be able to make an impact even with how this digital transformation takes place.
Oh my gosh, so much to unpack there. Okay, it's got many notes. I want to start, for anybody listening, what is generative AI? Did I hear that correctly? No, I don't think I said that right.
Generative AI.
Generative AI. What is that? Just in a nutshell, so that we all know.
Okay, so artificial intelligence has actually been around since the 50s, and it started off as machine learning, which is you put data in, normally numbers, and it would crunch and bring data back out. And then we moved to deep learning, which is where you put data in and it learns from that, and it is able to give you the next predictive text. And we've been having generative AI since the 90s and very much in the 2000s, and that comes in the form of our algorithms for social media, Alexa, Siri maps. That's all deep learning AI. So we've been using AI for actually quite a long time. And then where we're at now is generative AI. So this is the artificial intelligence, which you give it data and then it can create something completely new from what it knows. So it can create text and images and video and code, which is the code behind creating the website. So it can create all that. That is generative AI, and we use it through something called a large language model, which we know as ChatGPT or Claude or Copilot, or if you're an X fan, it will be Grok. If you're a Meta fan, it will be Llama. There's many, many other models out there, but we know them probably more as ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is a large language model that is a form of generative AI.
Yeah, well, first of all, look at me learning so many things. I love it. I just thought they were all AI, and I didn't even know that they've been around since like the 50s. Crazy. Okay, love that. And you mentioned that we are getting super lazy. Now, let me tell you something. I think for me, lazy is subjective. I'm going to say, maybe we're just adding more ease into our lives. Maybe we're just adding a little bit more fun and flair. But I do agree with you. Like, I don't have any tiny humans yet, but I wouldn't want my tiny humans to just learn from another machine, from another machine, from another machine. It's like that snake eating itself. Like, that just makes no sense to me. That's one thing I've always really not liked about AI, is that it just spits out like one truth. Whereas like our generation, I think like we had to Google things and we had to like look at different pages, and then we had to go to like, ooh, a book. Do you guys remember books? Those are crazy. And we had to go to this magical place called a library where all the books were and look up information. What a crazy time, guys. But anyway, we got out of that. And now we have these things. How can we not be lazy users of AI? How can we be better?
Yeah, I think the first thing to think is the mindset. This technology is here to amplify our intelligence. It's not taking it over, and it's not doing it for us per se. It is there to collaborate with us. So the first thing you should think is there an AI that I can collaborate with to do this for me quicker, faster, better creativity or better quality? And I think if we have that mindset first, then we're the control. We're not giving the AI something to actually do for us and think that it's the finished job, because we're collaborating, right? And we're using it strategically. So I think it's that first mindset shift. And then a second thing I think is thinking about the AI in terms of your strategic thinking partner, and it has to be customized. You have to give it a second brain. You have to give it information about you, your business, your products, your services, your missions, your values. All of that needs to be customized in your AI. And then the second part is giving it custom instructions, so asking it, you are my strategic business partner. You need to be able to question me. You need to be able to ask me what I think about something. You need to be ask me stories. So you're allowing it to make sure that you are still in control of what you want to talk about or how you want to talk about in your perspective. So those two things for me are kind of that next level use of generative AI or our large language models.
So Marnie, what should I be giving AI to do? For example, should I be letting it read all my emails and answer for me? What should I let it take over and I'm no longer in charge of that?
Yeah, so my answer might be a little bit controversial, but I still believe that generative AI is in its infancy of what it can do. And I still think that there needs to be a lot of human in the loop, not because it's not capable, but again, because it's very AI generated content. So I say that if you can use your AI to help you do things quicker by customizing it, obviously, but also checking over anything that it gives you before you put it out there and adding whatever you can. I am not a massive fan yet. And I say yet because the technology is getting better, and I want to explain agents to you in a minute. But I think it is getting better. But at the moment, I'm not a fan of what you just explained as automating, having an email come in, having an AI reply, and having it send out. That's like an automation. I'm not a massive fan of that yet. I do have similar automation set up like that. My email comes into Claude, which is my AI of choice. It drafts me a response. I double check it before sending. I still think that human in the loop is important again for the training aspect. But we are getting to the point where many softwares out there and many people are creating agents, which are agentic workflows. And the way an agent works is it's connected to a large language model, but it has the advanced technology of you can give it multiple steps. So you could say something like, take this email content, research the company it came from, research all the staff that is in there, give me a presentation on the information they've asked for, draft me a reply. And that's like 6 steps, right? So you could then say the agent will go off and it will do all those 6 steps for you. That is an agentic workflow. We are getting to a point where agents can control your browsers. So there's a few out there at the moment. ChatGPT Operator, they're very expensive, £200 a month. Perplexity, another amazing AI tool if you haven't tried it already, perplexity.ai. Their agent is called Comet. And they can take over your browser. So on my browser right now, I have obviously got this podcast platform, Riverside up. I have an Eventbrite link. I have my email. I have LinkedIn, and I have a Word document. I could go into Comet and I could say, using the Word document, write me a LinkedIn post about the Eventbrite and the Word document, and look through my emails and find the 2 emails that relate to this, and then write me a LinkedIn post. And the Comet, the agent, can do that. So we are moving to that, but to kind of go back to your original question, I'm still a big believer of add your human domain expertise at any point that you can right now, because I think that's really important. It's that mindset of AI is here to amplify us as humans. And I think if we want to be real strategic thinkers and really step up into thought leadership in our industry, it's important that we still stay in control.
Okay, so the whole premise here is we got to stay in control. We can't let the robots win. We still have to say please and thank you in case they do take over. So guys, don't forget that. That's a big one. But on a serious note, when you take people through this journey of kind of using AI to amplify their message, what aspects of their business would you say that you guys focus on?
Yeah. So I think there's kind of like 3 levels that I work with. Level 1 is the customization of their AI. Let's take ChatGPT, because everybody obviously is normally their first
kind
go-to.
of understands it and knows it.
Yeah. So it's their first go-to. So in ChatGPT, you can customize. So you can give it custom instructions. You can tell them about your business, how you like it to reply. I like bullet points. I like you to citate any information you get. I like it. I'm in the UK, so for UK English, you can customize how it replies to you. Then you can go and create projects in ChatGPT, which is now free on the free account as well. And those projects are like GPTs, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And the difference is that in these projects, you not only have access to the large language model, so the chat, but you can add 2 things. You can add knowledge base and you can add custom instructions. And I think they're really important, because what you're saying is, here's a generative AI chat, but I'm going to give it a second brain. And I'm going to give it as much information about my client and what I'm doing for them as possible. And then I'm going to give it custom instruction and say, you're my expert business partner that helps me deliver XYZ for this customer. And then that becomes your chat that you go into that's customized about you, but for your customer. And then you
for
could
that client.
For that client, exactly. So then you could have projects for all your clients so that you're segregating, and you've got a strategic thinker on your side, smartest technology we've got available, that knows all about what you're delivering for your clients and all about your clients. So that's where we start. And then the second thing we do is along the client journey. And is it the how are we attracting clients? How are we building lead magnets? We know kind of in business, we have normally one or two products or services, and that product or service can suit probably a whole lot of market, but it's hard to market to everybody, and there's that saying, the riches are in the niches, right? But it used to be hard because it was hard to get information about that client, and it was hard to create different lead magnets for those clients. But now with the power of AI, you can have one product or service. So my product and service is called the AI Accelerator. And I market it differently. It's one end product, but I know about different market segments, about who I can help with this accelerator program. And therefore, I'm able to create different marketing messages for each of those and a different lead magnet. So one market segment might love an AI maturity quiz, right? The next market might want a website landing page that tells them all of, how I solve their problems. And then another one could be a podcast episode that I've created with AI about my accelerator program that talks about, the outcomes they're going to get, or gives them some education piece. And another one could be an actual interactive kind of app that gives them little bits of what I do, for free. So that's the next level, is where are we on the customer journey, and how can we amplify what you do, because we've got so much more access to easy creation of things and market analysis and trends and knowledge. And then it's delivery to our clients. So I had an interior designer who had a course, and she was struggling to get people through the course. It's a big course. She'd spent so much time into it, but it's time consuming. So we created her AI within her course so that they could help them along the way. They do a section, a module of the course, and they jump in and they talk to her AI about it would ask them questions, and it would help them fill in the knowledge. And then the progression through that course becomes so much quicker and faster, which means she got the results that they wanted. And then she had an upsell for them after that as well. So that's within the customer journey, right? And then what about creating products and services? I have a podcast kind of PR agency where we've created a product where the customer, instead of paying for the PR agency to do the actual matching of the podcasts, instead we've created a platform bespoke to each client that of all the podcasts they could guest on. And then we created a GPT for them, which is trained on their knowledge, their experience. It does the research into the podcast, and it aligns the podcast audience with what they talk about. And then that GPT writes the guesting pitch for them, and then they go off and pitch. And that's still a PR agency. That PR agency can serve more clients on a subscription model.
Yeah.
So we work in kind of three ways. One, we amplify the leaders in the business by using AI and customizing them. Then we look at their customer journey and see what we can create in terms of marketing, from the attraction and the lead gen, and even the sales side. I mean, you could get AI to create a whole sales list for you. Here's my clients now, create me a lookalike list similar to them, so that sales side is also there. And then, are there products and services that you can bolt on or create more or deliver better? So that's the 3-step journey that I take people through.
Oh my gosh, I want to get on that roller coaster today. No, it's really fascinating how, some of us have been using AI for like the bare minimum. And I mean, I think myself included, like we use it for one thing and we get complacent, but you've just mentioned so many different applications for this, which is like, really, really cool, actually, if you think about it. So I love that. What do you wish people knew about AI that no one ever asks?
I really want everybody to know that you can literally talk to AI like a person, and any person you choose. So I might want to talk to the AI like my mindset coach. I might want to talk to AI like my nutritionist. Might want to talk to AI like a leader in business. Like one of my favorites at the moment is Stephen Bartlett, right? So I want to say I love him exactly. Too. I could easily just upload one of his, last podcasts or even Behind the Diary, and I could say, bring out the key points from Behind the Diary, this episode, and then with Stephen Bartlett's perspective, business perspective, give me advice on what I should do about launching a new AI mastermind, like having just that a different perspective, a different thought on something. I think we underestimate as humans what this artificial intelligence can do when we stop using it like Google and asking it to do something, and instead letting it be just, our curiosity. Many of us in business, we're super curious, right? We love learning. And actually, we've got that right on our phone now. Open up ChatGPT, open up Gemini, and just say, I really want to understand this concept, but in a different perspective. Or I've got this perspective about it, but I really need to think about it this way so that I can relate to one of my customers or one of my clients or one of my staff, like I don't know if I'm getting that message across, but I just feel like we underutilize it. Yeah, like we can really be like superhuman. Like we can think that, progression is being busy and doing things, but isn't progression learning more and having a different perspective and, a different experience on something, a different reality? And now we've got a technology that can help us do that.
All of that is great because honestly, the day I learned I could speak to it and I didn't have to type for it, that's when everything changed for me. I was like, oh, I don't have to type and think like, well, can you please? I'm like, hi, bestie. And it's like, hi, Carol. And I'm like, hey, girl, hey. So yes,
love that.
Speak to the AI. It's actually a lot easier, especially if you're like struggling with it. This is my own advice. Just speak to it. It's easier than getting stuck on what should I type to ask it. Just speak to it.
Yeah.
It will help. Okay. Yeah. Last but not least, Marnie, my life ethos that I'm sort of always living by is what you don't change, you choose. So I'd love to ask you today what it is that you are choosing.
Oh, I think every day is different. So today, for me, I am choosing patience. I'm choosing patience with myself because being entrepreneurial and coming from an athlete background, I'm very impatient and feel like I constantly need to see progress, or I constantly, like I said before, feel like I'm achieving something, tick box stuff. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah. So today I'm choosing patience with myself. And sometimes that progression, like I said, is not about the fact that I completed something on my to-do list. The progression was I had an amazing conversation with you. That's progression, right? And like, I need to be patient with that. And it's not all about the outcomes that I can see. And sometimes it's about the experiences. So that's the patience for me. And I guess I also need to be patient with the industry because, everybody's at such a different space in their, what I call AI journey, in their AI maturity level, in the use. And I've got to be patient with that. And as my mindset coach says, Marnie, just keep being the lighthouse, just keep showing up, sharing where you're at, and people will catch up and resonate wherever they are. And, you don't have to force them, I guess, stop being lazy users, right? And I need to change that word lazy. So that is a big learning from today. I'm going to change that word lazy, Carol. That's my golden nugget, definitely.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I just think it's a little bit more easier, but it's fine. I am glad I influenced you a little.
Lazy's harsh. I need to find a more inspiring word for it.
Yeah. Just adding more ease into your life. I like to add ease into everyone's life. It doesn't mean I'm lazy.
No.
Just easier.
Yeah. I love that. I need some ease, I can tell you.
There you go. We all need some. Well, Marnie, honestly, what a great chat.
Yeah.
It has been, like I told you guys, it's been a roller coaster. The gremlins came, they came to play, they showed up. I hope you all learned something. Marnie, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge on AI with my audience. I think all of us are like, yes, we're going to go and talk to our ChatGPTs and we're going to say please and thank you because remember, the robot revolution is real.
Thank you, Carol. Really enjoyed our chat.
Amazing. Okay, guys. Well, until I see you again, this has been Carol Kabale on the Client Code Podcast. Bye.